Do you want to know how to create a quick video in a few minutes? Perfect for things like YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, or even TikTok. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how to do that using a platform called InVideo. And if you want to check it out, there's a link in the description below. Otherwise, let's get started. So I'm logged into InVideo using a premium account the guys have set me up with. Now, the way InVideo works really well is they actually have a bunch of pre-made templates you can use, or this text-to-video service, which is really powerful, or you can even start from scratch. Now, I'm not going to go through absolutely everything InVideo has to offer because we want to focus on what we're doing here with the short videos. So I'm going to show you this text-to-video that you can pick here. And if you scroll down, you'll see here we can choose a wide video, so a full screen video for YouTube, something that's square, so good for social media, or we can go to a vertical setup, which is something that's great for things like Shorts, Reels, or TikTok. So in this video, we're going to stick with vertical, but these are quite flexible and you're able to apply these and even take the same video, change the canvas size afterwards. You can actually do all that quite easily on this system. So I'm going to start with vertical here, and I'm actually going to, we've got some templates below we can choose from, and it's actually very powerful. So I'm going to start off with, I'm going to pick a template. There's a bunch here you can see, but we're just going to pick one and go for it. And I haven't actually used this before, so let's just see how we go. While I've used the system before, I haven't used this template. So you can see here, our template here has a video going, and it's got a cool little green and blue effect to it. So we're going to click vertical and use this template. Okay, now you see here it's got option 1. We can add a script in here. It's got option 2, we can enter a URL or add some media files. What's really cool is if you add a URL of a blog post in here, it'll kind of try to automatically create a video. So it could be something worth trying if you want to do that yourself. But I'm going to stick with the script here because I prefer to summarize and have the content specifically for the video. Now you can simply go in and type your headline, so tips to win. And you can see here, it'll convert every sentence into a new scene on the storyboard. So you can say, you gotta try, you gotta go, or whatever. You can start typing in your bits and pieces there. But I've actually got a script set up off to the side we're gonna use. I'm gonna pop the headline in there, which is 3 tips to improve your social media efficiency. And I've got some tips in here. And there's a few typos I've just got to quickly fix up. Okay. And you can see here, so I've got my 3 tips: plan ahead, the content and an explanation, create image templates, explanation, automate schedule, and an explanation. So you can see this is perfect for creating quick text-based Reels, Shorts, or TikToks because I can just type in the information I want and it will auto-suggest images and videos for me to use. You can turn that off and use and pick everything yourself, but if you're really in a rush, this is a great way to try and speed things up. So I'm going to click next. And you can see it's going to load things up and we can get started. So straight away, you can see here, we've got the first slide. It's a bit of information, some planning. It's got our title there, 3 tips to improve your social media efficiency. And you can scroll down and just see some of the images. I've used this in the past and it's chosen better images than this, but you do get an idea of how it basically works. You can see here, each one is got your text, where the text is, and you can just scroll on through, which is pretty handy. And of course you can go back over here to your script and change bits and pieces over here as well. And there's a bit of music already associated with this, and it's just a very easy way to sort of work. Now if I click here on this media, I don't necessarily like that picture. It's a bit boring. So I'm going to go over here and I can choose a video or an image. I'm actually going to try a video here because I have a premium account, I can even choose video in stock from iStock, which is very cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in here social media and let's see what we get. And you can see we've got a few bits and pieces. So maybe I decide I want to get this particular thing here, drag it there. I can actually trim the video to fit the scene, so that way it's the right length of time. So I'm going to click that and then click done. I'm going to go up here and delete this one. And I've got a little video there in the background. Now, if I want to, I can play and preview. And if I want to move things around, I can in the advanced editor, but for now, we're just going to leave that. Now, for some reason, we've got this green piece here, but we'll look at that later. At the moment, we've got this. I'm going to bin it. and we've got plan ahead of time. So I'm going to click plan, although I'm actually going to click control, no, so I'm going to just type plan. So you see we've got someone writing up on a board here. I'm going to basically use that. I'm going to drag that across, trim the video to fit the scene so it has the right length of time, and click done. So now our video is sitting there in the center. This time we're actually going to see if we can get it to replace this, because one thing I didn't realize is that it actually doesn't put it exactly in the same place. But maybe what we can do is find another video on planning. So we've got this person right here. Maybe we can drag and replace. Trim the video to fit the scene and click done. So once again, it has changed the position of the video, but we're going to edit this again in a minute, so it's no big deal. We can keep that green look there if we want to. The other thing, we're going to keep on scrolling. You can see we've got our text here. We can change this at any time, and we can just keep going down. So create image templates. That looks a bit horrible. I'm going to go into image over here now. I'm going to choose, say, graphic design. And we've got a few options here. So we've got a computer here, we've got this. I'm going to just drag this in place to pop that image in there. And we're going to keep on scrolling. And once again, another image that we want to get rid of. So we've actually got two images here. We've got this scrolling image as well. So I'm not sure exactly where that is, but you can see it pop in there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to replace this image again, because I don't mind this particular image, but I don't like the Facebook logo. So I'm going to basically scroll and look for something else. Although maybe we'll simply drag this one across into there. So now we play and we can see exactly how that looks. So you get the idea. We go through and we replace every single bit and piece. We automate. So let's just say, I'm going to grab this image, move it across. Okay, so we've just sort of skipped ahead a little bit there. You can see we've created the general sort of flow of what we're doing. Now, we're ready to go in and make some more advanced edits to change some positioning around. Now, you can go into the advanced editor here at the top, and you see down the bottom here, we have our little storyboard sections that we can go in and have a look. Now, you can add a voiceover if you have a microphone. Because I'm recording this video, I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to go to scene 1 here, and I can actually go to the timeline. There's actually some music in the background, which we'll get to soon. Now, at the moment, the scene duration is 5 seconds, 0.4. So that's good. We can move that around if we decide we want to, like this, make it 4 seconds, and go from there. And the entire video goes for 1 minute and 14 seconds. We want to keep this under a minute, so we can actually resize a lot of this. So the last scene is actually pretty long. So I'm going to bring that down until we're down to 57 seconds. And we're just going to scroll, zoom out a bit, and we can see the overall look of how things are going. So now we're down pretty short, 53 seconds. I can zoom back in over here and click on a scene to get started. So I've got this scene up, and there's if I hover and move around, you can see that I can select certain objects. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to grab this here. I'm actually going to click on this and go to a double click, and I've got this little timeline here. So I can see exactly where everything is. I can see if I click here, it's got my logo, it's got my text, and I can go through, we've got some overlays here, which we can unlock and move, and I've got my video. So what I'm going to do with my video, I can actually resize it. At the moment, it's sort of doing this weird thing where it has some stuff in the background, top and bottom, but I can actually go up the top here to crop that video. So now it's actually sort of cropped in a little bit. I actually don't want it that size. I want it to be, say, 1:1. And by clicking that here, I now have a 1:1 size. I can move it across and click done. So now my video is like this, and I can, even though the handles are in a funny position, I can resize it and move it to where I want to, like that. So now if I play this scene, you can see what we have there. Now, when I'm done with that, I go back to all scenes, and we go on the same process. Double click on scene 2. I click on this video. I'm going to crop it, and I'm going to actually make it this size and move this over there, and click done. So now I have this in the background, but this might be a little bit hard to read. Maybe I don't like the green there. I'm going to double click on the scene, and we see we have some overlays here. Now, if I unlock this overlay, you'll see the green box is selected because overlay 2 is the green. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to enlarge it and make it full size. There's another overlay here as well, another box. I'm actually just going to delete that overlay and stick with overlay 2. And there are a few things you can do with this overlay. There's some filters, animate, you can, there's a few options around the place. Let's just go to filters. And we can go through and change different effects on that, although because it's a straight color, it's not really doing a lot. But we can change the size. The other thing too is, if you're not sure about this, which I've never had issues with changing the overlays in the past, I can click on this overlay and delete it. I can go over here to the left, and when I click the down arrow, there are overlays sitting here. So I click on those overlays, and I can get some pretty nifty effects. You can see here we've got something like static and other cool little bits and pieces. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go choose the static and pop it in here. Then I'm going to move it behind the text but over the video. And when I click on this overlay, I can choose opacity here and make it a little semi-transparent. And now we can play. And see it says playing content ahead of time. We've got a cool nifty effect there. I can actually move this text if I want to. If I click on the text down here, I can move it to the top if I decide, or even in the center. And one thing you'll notice here is with the text, I can change the font. Over here, I can choose another font, such as any one of these here. And I can actually change all the fonts, apply that to any font, replace the existing fonts that were the same as that. So maybe I go and search for something like Montserrat because it matches my branding, Montserrat Black. I replace all HQ Grotesque Bold with that. And you see here, it's replaced it across the board. And I can also go in here and there's a few other bits and pieces. I can change the size, the color, fill color, that sort of thing. Now, there are also some animations and effects. You can go to animate, and at the moment it slides from down, and you can choose, you can see you've got a bunch of animations. Let's just say we're going to slide from out. And we can change the duration, animation duration. Let's just knock it down a bit. And we can change how it fades out as well. At the moment, nothing happens. But what we can do is happily have it go to the side, and have that to be pretty quick as well. So your fade in and fade out can be easily changed over here on the left. And you can also add a text box animation. Not too concerned about that right now. I'm going to go over here, and we've got text shadow, and I'm going to turn that on. And now it has a shadow, so it stands out against the background. Now, something else you can do, if you're worried about standing out because the background's light and the text is light, we can simply choose shapes over here on the left. And you'll see there's also a bunch of other things here. There's masks and bits and pieces, so we can mask and put shapes around videos and things like that. But we're going to go to shapes. I'm just going to choose a square and drag it onto the timeline. And I'm going to take this square and make it the full size of the screen. I'm going to, if you see on the timeline here, element 1's at the top. I'm going to move it to just over the video. Now we can't see the other video because that is sort of showing it up. So I can go here to transparency and knock the transparency back to about halfway. And now when we play the video, we've got this sort of glitchy effect there. So I'm going to go back to all scenes, and our video is starting to come together in a certain way. We've got our green, we've got that here, which is a little bit different than the rest of the scene, but that's okay. And I'm going to go through, I'm going to speed up the video, and I'm just going to apply the same sort of tweaks to the rest of these scenes. And I'll stop whenever I've got something to show you that's a little bit different than what we discussed. Now I wanted to stop here because we're posting to shorts and reels. One issue is there's a lot of information down here at the bottom. So what I'm going to actually do is move the text up on most of these slides, bring this in and down. It'll actually shrink the text to fit it. So that way there's a room for the YouTube/Instagram UI to show what it needs to do. So just a little tip when you're doing these videos, and check that on all your other scenes as well. Now something else to keep in mind is you don't need everything to be identical. You don't have to keep everything in the same place. I can actually move this up to the top. I can grab this overlay, but I can't click it straight away because down here it's locked. So I'm going to click the two lock keys. I'm going to click on the first one, and I'm just going to, I can use my down arrows to move it. As you can see, this one is transparent as it has an effect. I'm going to move it down to about here. I'm going to take this one as well and move it down to about the same place. There. And I'm just going to head back here to make sure this one is in the same position. And we've got that there. So just a thought, you don't always have to have it exactly the same layout as the template dictates. So let's keep going. Now once again, I'm actually going to do something a little bit different with this one. I'm actually going to remove the overlays in this one altogether. And much like the other one we had before, I'm just going to move this up to here, maybe make it a bit bigger and easier to read. And I'm actually going to throw an overlay over the top of this. So I actually do want to also get a shape again and grab this square, move it down above the image, click on it. I'm going to make it black. Change the opacity down to about here. And I'm going to go down to overlays and choose something a little different. We've got noise with some other bits and pieces. We've also got some pieces falling, little animations that sit over the top, bits of smoke. So we're actually going to just choose this one for a bit of an effect. Move that one down. And we're going to just preview that. So that's a pretty cool effect. Add our shadow and keep moving. There's something else I want to add about cropping in here. If I take this video and sort of change the size and the width a little bit, it's actually kind of fitting pretty easily because the crop is actually set differently. One thing you'll notice if I hit crop here, if I choose an aspect ratio and click done, it'll actually add bits at the top and bottom. But if I go to crop and just simply choose this here, this little square here, it just fits the frame, which is a handy tool if you're looking to sort of get things specific. But you can see we've still got a bit of space at the side here, so I'll just head back in. Now that I've got my size, hit it again, and it fills that frame. So another handy little tip for cropping on this platform. Now, one thing to remember is at the moment we have multiple images and videos on this timeline. So what you're actually going to notice is we've got one video here, one there, and one there. And the left to right demonstrates the start of the timeline to the end. Now, this image in the background here is obviously playing one thing. Then we've got another image there and another image there. And this one is obviously not looking the same. So you will also need to just scrub through and check those bits and pieces to make sure they look the way you want when you are sort of cropping and playing with those bits and pieces. Okay, so we've finished our first run. And what we're going to do is we're actually just going to play this back to see exactly how it all goes. So I'm going to go to play. I can play all from the seeker, which is this here, or I can play from the start, which is just the scene. I'm actually going to scrub back and just bring that to and hit play. Okay, I've stopped it there because that last frame goes for way too long, so we're just going to shorten that right down. Now, the other thing too is, I'm not a huge fan of the music that it's playing. So we're actually going to go through and we're going to try a few different types of music and sort of pick one that we like. So what we need to do is where it has a music here, I can click on that, and I can actually just click on this. I can edit it, so I can duplicate it, loop it, whatever, but I'm actually just going to delete it. And then on the left here, we've got music, and you can pick by genre or mood. So let's just go through and see what we can find, and find something that'll be suitable for this project. Okay, so I like this last one, lo-fi background vlog. I'm going to hit the plus button, and now it's added the music to the scene. And of course, we can move and trim the start of it off if we want to, move it around. So that way, if you don't like the start, you can actually just cut in, move it back. If I zoom out a little bit, I can extend it back to the end if I want to, and do little edits like that. You can see if I hover over and edit, you've got a few options. You can use volume and fade. I can change the overall volume, fade in so many seconds or fade out so many seconds. I'm just going to leave it 100% the whole way through. I can also then click loop. If it's a shorter track, it'll just loop that over and over again. The trim is essentially what we just did by grabbing those handles. We can duplicate it, that sort of thing. The only other thing I want to do and touch on is I can actually go into the stickers section. If I hit down here, there's stickers. And you can see here we've got a little subscribe button. I can actually go into here and drag this. We'll click on it. I'll search for another subscribe, maybe one that is animated. Like this one here. You can see we've got a little animation on some of these. Not all of them, but some of them. We're going to grab this sticker here. We'll grab this one here, and we're going to pop it on the screen. Enlarge it a bit, and we'll just pop it down the bottom there. So now we have a little subscribe button at the bottom of our video. And when we're done, we click download and share. Because we're pretty happy with our video, happy with the music, although X back because we have one extra. I've accidentally added a few of those stickers on there, so we'll get rid of those. We'll click download and share, 1080p, and then we hit export. And you'll see here it's loading the video and exporting it for us to watch later. So I'm going to cut out here, and we're going to check out the final video and then see how it turned out. Okay, our video is now ready. I can play it, or I can simply download it. So I'm going to download this, and we're going to check it out. Okay, so you can see everything's animated. We've got our overlays set up, nice little musical track. It's actually worked out pretty well, and it's that vertical size that we like for things like Reels and your shorts for YouTube. So I am going to pop this up as a short. I'll pop a link to that below in the description. But you can see just how powerful it is at creating these little videos for, you can really get a system going. One thing you can do is you can duplicate these jobs and then sort of simply change out things again. So it's quite simple to get a few templates of your own that you really like and put on repeat. So check that out. If you haven't checked out InVideo, head to the link in the description below, invideo.io, and check that out. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. We're going to try and make a few more of these. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day. Hope to see you again soon.